People really appreciated last week when I left you alone for like a hot
So go
second.
away. So go leave.
Quickly before I forget, before we get into the episode, people keep mentioning the fact that they'll like take a shot every time Wood like moves his legs or like changes his legs. It's because of my anxiety, okay? So I bet you feel like a real jerk now.
Making a lot of excuses for yourself. I shake my legs a lot, and people think that's like a nervous tick or an anxiety thing. I just have a lot of energy sometimes, and I just expel it through my legs. I had a lot of coffee today. We gotta get this show on the road because I am gonna burn out.
I'm gonna burst like a
firework. I'm gonna freaking explode because I had so much coffee.
Well, good, because speaking of things bursting and exploding on impact, you heard of Splatoon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Splatoon's the talk of the town right now. We're actually a little late. Well, not really, because Splatoon isn't even out yet. In fact, I think you can now download the demo beta for the game or whatever, and the Splat Test Fest is coming.
So this will go up on Thursday, and Saturday is when the Splat Fest is happening. I believe it's from like 9 to 9, like our time.
Sorry, I just cracked open my Liquid Death.
Okay, we're not sponsored by them. It's just water. Wait, is that the water? Or is that the sparkling?
It's a sparkling. Okay. I really like it. Bob got me to try it. He hates it. I love it.
I don't hate it. It's just water. I don't know what I was expecting. Me and Hannah went to Whole Foods because we needed a case of water, and I saw that, and I was like, well, this looks like the most interesting water they have here, but it is like a lot of money.
No,
like
it is.
$15 a case for 12.
Yeah, it was $30 for 24. But
yeah, hey,
what is good?
It's very strange coming out of a can, but I mean,
what is good for?
What, clearing out,
washing away all that.
Yeah. Just like Mario Sunshine. Remember how good Mario Sunshine was? Let's talk about that instead.
Do you like Mario Sunshine, the game where you wash away paint, more than Splatoon, where you paint?
Actually, yes, but I don't like Mario Sunshine that much. Like it's a great game. I don't like Splatoon that much. I never really got into it. So
it's like Nintendo's shooter. That's your thing.
Yeah, but it's not like a shoot. It's not like a real shooter though. You can't really focus on getting kills. It's as close as you're gonna get. I know, it's a little unfortunate, but like I was never really good at it. And what I really didn't like is how hard it was for me to like level up and get new weapons and stuff, because I was always trying to play with viewers and stuff, and you need private lobbies to do that, and you can't really unlock stuff with private lobbies.
I think it's just kind of dumb fun at its core. I had a lot of fun. I never played the very first one, I don't think. But the second one, I had a lot of addicted hours in and did some YouTube streams back in the day, but way before Twitch.
Right.
For me, I did some YouTube streams, and I don't know. I really like the game. I love it. I wouldn't say I like dived into it a ton, maybe like 30 hours or something, which really isn't much for a competitive online game like that. But I've been really hyped for 3 and really excited to see more of 3. And they dropped a 30-minute look at 3, and I watched it, and I thought it looked pretty sick. But apparently, half the internet thought it looked like Splatoon 2 again. Did you get a chance to watch the 30 minutes?
I actually didn't. I only read a recap afterwards. Like I went through an article that had all of the new information about it, and it was a long article. Like there's a lot of new stuff in the game. So I know that it might look the same, but I mean, the first trailer that they dropped looked like a totally different game. You were in the friggin' wasteland. You see the friggin' Eiffel Tower in the desert.
All right, you haven't watched it, so this is where it does get pretty upsetting. I don't know what that trailer was, because don't worry about it. Don't worry about that trailer.
I assumed that was the single player that they haven't talked about at all.
No. So did I.
They didn't talk about a single player yet, right?
They did. In the 30-minute event, they talked about it for about 10 seconds, and what they showed was essentially more of the Octopath expansion single-player stuff, where it's just like floating platforms in like a dark void, and you just kind of like platform and like do some puzzles and stuff.
Okay, well, wait. You just really like glossed over it.
Nope, I didn't.
But saying that a whole game is just puzzles and platforms and stuff. You could say that about a Mario game, a whole Mario game. Like it could be good puzzles and platforms. No, it is
good. No, don't get me wrong. It is good. And it was good in 2, but it was very much like this. It's not really a story. It's kind of just like these little platforming areas with some like fun times, and then it's over, and it's kind of like, it's forgettable, really, I guess. But by the look of the trailer of 3, and by the way, I liked the new 30-minute direct, but we're just at the one thing I didn't like. By the look of the trailer before this direct, they made it look like there was a full story based in like a, I don't know, apocalyptic world or something.
Yeah, I want that. I want more of that. Give me that.
No, that's not, I don't know what that was, because it was not in the 30-minute direct. It wasn't present. I actually watched that direct after everyone got upset about the direct, and I was like, well, let's see what people are upset about. And I loved it. I thought that everyone was insane. But that 10 seconds where they glossed over the story and all they showed with the little platforms again, that was pretty upsetting. I got to be honest. That bummed me out.
I have to watch that, because I that's what I'm most excited for. That's the thing. I don't want to watch a whole 30-minute trailer just to see the little 10 seconds, you know? I like to just see that part.
The conversation I want to have, though, is like when is a sequel and when is it a remake? Because like, I guess a lot of people are just calling this a remake of 2, or essentially like it's DLC for 2, and what have they really changed, and what actually constitutes a brand new release. And yeah, I want to have that conversation with you. My first thought is just like, we're still releasing games on Switch. You know, this console is about 5-6 years old, and it's been around so long, we're starting to get sequels of games that had sequels when the thing released. So yeah, there's only so much you're going to be able to do with it. What were you expecting? What were you expecting Splatoon to look like on the same hardware?
I think the biggest issue here is that this is mostly a multiplayer game, and when you add little things to a multiplayer game, it changes the whole game. Yeah. So most of the changes aren't going to be cosmetic changes. They're going to be like a whole slew of different weapons, which they have, and you know, new maps and stuff. And that's the core of that's the game. That's the core of the game right there, and that's going to change a lot. Coming from somebody who's not that big into Splatoon. But I've played enough multiplayer games to know that if you change the maps around, if you change the weapons that you use, it's going to change the whole freaking game. And I'm sure there's going to be mechanics that change too. And that's going to change the whole game.
Yeah, they added all new weapons. And then like the world, but the little town is getting fleshed out more with more clothes and armor essentially, or like status effects, special abilities. It looks wild and wacky now. Like, the one thing I'm actually worried about is, you know, when you play Smash with like all items on, it's just absolute chaos. And like, if you want like a real challenge, you turn those items off. You do a 1v1 Captain Falcon versus Sora, and I win every time.
Yeah, of course.
But that's what I'm a little worried about with Splatoon. I'm sure it's going to be chaotic fun, but like the trailers they were showing, they had like these radius effects going on where like someone put down like this bomb that was like causing like outward rings you'd have to jump over, while someone was like riding in on a shark and like exploding, and then people were using their ultimate abilities and grenades were going off, and it's like, am I actually going to get to play this game and get technical with it, or am I going to be dodging bombs every second? So I'm actually worried they've added too much, but I won't know that until I've played it and gotten a feel of it.
Do you remember what it was like when the trailer for the second game came out? Because I saw that and I thought it was very similar to the first game. And I never played.
And those games were so different.
I never played the first Splatoon. So just
it was very bare bones, apparently.
Looking at the two of them, I was like, this is the same game. I think even the rumors were that they were remaking the first game for the Switch or porting it. And then it was a surprise when it turned out to be a whole new game. So it's not like this is any different. Like, I don't know what people were expecting. I think the people who are bitching about this are people who didn't play Splatoon anyway.
Yeah, maybe they were like wanting Splatoon to look so much different so that they could play it now.
Yeah. Or yeah, maybe they're like bitching in behalf of the Splatoon community, but I'm sure that the Splatoon community is just fine.
A lot.
Because
that happens a lot.
I was one of them. Like back when the second game got announced, I thought that it didn't look any different from the first game, but I never played the first game. So I didn't know what I was talking about. Now that I've played Splatoon 2 and I'm seeing Splatoon 3, I think Splatoon 3 looks different enough to warrant a sequel.
I think so too. Splatoon 1 and 2, I don't remember the reaction to 2, but if you're saying that people said it looked the same, it didn't. It wasn't. 1 was very bare bones, and then 2 managed to add a lot in, and that was the good one. People loved 2. And they went into 30 minutes of information of all the stuff they were adding into this one. There's a giant manta ray called the Big Man. Did you see him on Twitter?
Yes, I did.
He's adorable.
He's part of the trio, right? He's part of the
He's
J-pop
part of the
trio.
3 that will probably bombard you and harass you every time you turn the game on to tell you. You remember that?
That's another little UI
that was
issue.
The main reason.
Fixed.
That's the main reason I didn't play Splatoon 2, because every time I thought about like booting it up, I just was like, I don't want to sit through that again. I'll play something else.
I used to use Splatoon 2 to test motion controls on different controllers all the time. And I would always forget that I have to go through that every time. And I'd be like, I just want to quickly get in and just see if the controls work.
For those that haven't played Splatoon 2, when you load it up, the 2 little squid girls give you a whole rundown on the news every time you boot the game up, as well as like the maps that are playable right now, stuff like that. I swear it took like 10 minutes to get through.
Even when there's no news and you have to mash through it. It's very annoying.
And you can't, you have to mash, but it doesn't actually speed anything up.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get through it.
It's such a terrible like user experience choice.
I think they even said that you can skip it this time. I'm pretty sure my chat was like,
"Let's go!" I need proof of that, though. I don't believe them. I do not believe that at all.
I will believe it when I see it. That'll be the biggest quality of life improvement that'll warrant this being Splatoon.
What
3.
a terrible world we live in, where that is like our biggest hope for this stupid game. Also, another one is the matchmaking. Like, matchmaking is a lot easier. You can join up with your friends a lot easier in this one. And that's such a stupid, feature that we shouldn't need to be excited about.
You shouldn't have to be excited about that. But I always am. What game was
I playing? With Nintendo, yes.
Oh, I played Lego Brawlers a little early.
The hell is
that? It's not out. I am sponsored by them, but I'm not being sponsored right now. But I do know they don't like being compared to certain things.
Okay, I know exactly what it is.
Have you ever heard of multiverses and
I know that game.
Well, that's a different conversation. Let's get back to Lego Brawls. When I played that, all we had to do was make a lobby. All I had to do was make a lobby, and then there was a little code, and then I gave it to my friends, and they joined my game. I didn't have to add them. There was like eight player lobbies and everything like that. I don't understand why these games that are on Switch can do this so easily and so seamlessly, but then you have like Battle Strikers or whatever.
First-party Nintendo games are horrible.
First-party Nintendo games where you have to add everyone using their Switch friend code, and then you probably also have to make a room with a code and a password. And then once they've managed to pass all the Fort Knox regulations that Nintendo sets in place to play with your friends, and you finally get in, chances are you won't have access to the full game, and you'll need 2 friends in the same room to play 4 players. Sorry, that's the pent-up aggression.
Yeah, I do have a lot to spill out right now. I think Smash Brothers does it the best, but it's still not the best it could be with the whole room situation.
Interesting comparison to Smash Brothers, because I would say Smash Wii U and Smash Ultimate looked very similar.
Yeah, that was another. I was going to say, the 2 things that I think of when people say that a game isn't different enough, like a sequel isn't different enough.
Yeah.
The first one I think of is Overwatch 2. And the second one that I think of...
I might agree with that one.
The second one that I think of is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That was another one. The rumors were that they were just remaking Smash Wii U.
Yeah, that was for a long time.
Yeah. And then even the trailer, when the trailer first started, we were all like, okay, it's just Smash. Oh, no, that's not true. When they announced it, we saw the Inklings, and we were like, oh, this is going to be... They're going to at least add the Inklings. So, yeah. But Smash Ultimate does look a lot like Smash Wii U. I think it's based off of the same engine, but they changed a lot.
Do you remember watching the Smash Ultimate reveal trailer? Like, not the Splatoon one, the next one, where they were listing all the characters and they were coming in with numbers, and they just kept going and going. And you're like, oh, yeah.
It never ended. It was fucking awesome.
But the moment when there's like a screen like with nothing, and then Snake like zips in, and then it says everyone is here.
Yeah.
I still get tingles every time I watch that. Because like seeing Snake is the character that you would be like waiting to see. Because if he's there, everyone's going to be there.
Yeah.
Like, they figured out everything.
Yeah, because Snake was only in Brawl. And then, and it was a huge deal when he was in that.
Yeah.
Wait, no, yeah, I'm not wrong, right? He wasn't in Wii U. He skipped Wii U. And then, when he was in...
he would have had to have been.
When he was in Switch, the Switch one, we were like, oh, he's back! And then it's like, everyone's here. Oh, everyone's here! Wow! How could this get any better?
And that's crazy because you think about how hyped that was, how excited everyone was. No one was like, do we need this game?
Yeah.
But then you look at Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, visually they're very similar. I mean, more so, I would say, than the Wii U and Smash because it's on the same console with the same hardware. Mm-hmm. But the main difference between those Smash games and these Splatoon games is just chocked full of content.
I'm pretty sure when I first played the Ultimate at E3, I'm pretty sure my little hands-on review was that it felt exactly the same. It felt like the exact same game. But that's because I didn't really know. I wasn't really like I played a decent amount of Smash, but I was never really that into it. I didn't really get that into it until Ultimate. That's when I really started trying to like get good at it.
I've taught you a lot.
I would probably have a lot more to compare the two now. Like if I jumped back on the Wii U one, I'd probably be like, this is way different. But I just choked on my own spit. I got too excited talking about
I do that all the time. Yeah, you're talking about Smash. You gotta calm down.
So now I would probably have a lot more to compare it to.
I find that with Smash too. Every time a new one has come out, it's had more characters, but the game has been the same. At least that's how it felt every generation. But whenever you go back, God, it's such a shock to the system.
Especially the way it feels they all feel drastically different. But when you look at them, you're like, oh, it's the same core game. But really, once you get your hands on it, you're like, whoa.
I know 64 was on 64, but I'm telling you, I just like playing one at a time as they come out. You just kind of, you forget. You go back and play 64, it's like playing in mud. Like
I don't like Melee. I mean, it's a good GameCube game, but people really put that in too high regard. Like, it's good, but like things have gotten a lot better since then.
I think Ultimate plays a lot better, in my opinion. I think Ultimate plays the best, but I get that Melee before Ultimate was the best one, and there's nostalgia there, and it's GameCube and the GameCube controller, which people still swear by even with Ultimate.
Right.
So I get that core Melee experience.
It's Melee was one of the best fighting games for many, many years. Like over 10 years, it was the best fighting game. But we've gotten past that. It's been there's a lot of time has passed, and going back to that, it's hard. It's hard to get used to that.
So where do we stand on Splatoon? Worth it? Worth the third installment?
I mean, I don't know. I gotta play it, but I mean, I think it. I from what I've seen, it looks like they changed enough to warrant a whole new one, for sure.
Yeah,
and also like you're paying $60. A lot of people are saying they would rather it be DLC. How much DLC? What would you pay? $40 for it? And also, that won't get as big of a user base.
No,
You'd
exactly.
segment the
That's
user base with the DLC like that.
Yeah, that would just be sad. Like, the game's been out for 5 years. You know that the player base is dwindled down to the core audience, which is, I can't imagine that many people left playing a 5-year-old game. You're going to release DLC for it now? All that work you're going to throw out there for what, $20-$25 to have a few thousand people pick up the old game again, and then that be it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think people are also really underestimating how much content. Actually, I make that mistake all the time. All the content that's going to be in it. I think it's going to be like the 1 and 2 situation where people are going to get it in their hands and they're going to be like, oh, this feels completely different. Like going from Wii U Smash to Ultimate.
Yeah. Now, Overwatch 2, that should have been DLC.
That should have been DLC.
That doesn't look good. That looks like that same game. They turned the lights off on some levels, and that's it.
No, I agree with you there. And they altered some characters, like loadouts and names and stuff, and it's like that's all just things that happen in patches.
Yeah. They got rid of all of the like stuns and stuff, which is kind of a big deal.
Why?
I don't know. Well, it made like, that was like McCree's whole thing. I forgot his name. Cassidy. His name's Cassidy now. That was his whole thing, was stunning people and then shooting them. And now he can just shoot them. So like he's going to be much, much worse now.
I really did like Overwatch when it came out. I don't want to go into an Overwatch tangent, but McCree with his ult, he like bang, 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 bang.
I loved Overwatch when it came out also. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
I was big into it.
But now we play Valorant.
Valorant, yay! Hey, if you're a Patreon supporter, you can watch us play a whole ass game of Valorant. Actually, 2.
That's true. We did.
This
we
little
just played
Patreon exclusive episode of literally us just playing Valorant with our little team that we play with multiple times a week.
Actually, while we're here, and we did kind of wrap up that conversation, we're talking about Patreon. Hey, Patreon. It supports the show. It's our sponsor today. We'd really appreciate it. And like Bob said, there's an hour of us playing Valorant. That's secret to the Patreons right now, but also like 13 other bonus episodes. And I'm working on getting the bonus episodes audio only because we've been asked about that a lot. So I'm working on that, and I'm going to make it happen. I don't know how, but I'm going to make it happen.
We are also sponsored by our merch.
Yeah,
buy this.
That Bob's so nicely wearing right now. I'm wearing a little bunny shirt that Kim helped me pick out. It's Vans. And fun fact, I wanted to wear this in the episode really badly. Like that's been my plan. And I found it in the wash. And apparently I haven't washed it and it kind of smells, but I got it out the wash and I'm wearing it anyway.
That's okay. I can't smell you because you're not here.
I'm not here. Do you want to talk about why I'm not here? Or just breeze past that.
I mean, that's you, buddy. That's all you.
Long story short, we were supposed to do this in person today. I tried getting on the train. I had too much anxiety. I got off the train. I came home, and now we're here.
I have to be honest with you. I was on the train yesterday, and I almost saw 2 dudes beat the absolute shit out of each other. So I don't blame you for having anxiety on the train.
That's not why I was having anxiety, but I will say, and I wanted to tell you a quick train story that I had, but this isn't it. When I got off the train, when I finally got off the train to go home, somebody was standing there and he's like, "Hey, buddy." And I was like, "Hey." And I thought he recognized me for a second. And there was a long pause. We were looking at each other. And by you, in my mind right now, I'm like mid-anxiety attack. I just want to get home. Mm-hmm. I'm staring at this guy and he goes, $5 for a dirty mag?
What is, oh, like a magazine. Okay. I thought, wow, I don't know. I didn't know what that meant. A lot of things just went through my head just now.
It took me a second as well. I was like, and then I looked at it and I went, no, I'm good.
I would have been very curious. That my curiosity might have made that worth $5.
Magazines.
But $5 is a good deal. And my curiosity is worth $5.
Because it's free on my phone and they move around on my phone.
But a stranger didn't give it to you.
That's how you get your kicks.
I need to figure out what this is all about.
Somebody else probably used this before me.
If I had a 5 spot on me, I might have considered that.
You're insane. I definitely wanted far away from that guy. But actually kind of related to that topic, when I was on the train, coming back, I was trying to distract myself. I was trying to calm down. I was flipping through my phone, and I saw an article that read Amarantha's hot tub explodes, destroys stream room. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see that mess of Amazon's hot tub, right? So I click on the article, and it links her Twitter, but the Twitter just says, this happened. What happened. I'll post pics later. And that's all that was in the article. And I was like, oh, now I got to go to Amarantha's Twitter. So I'm sat on the train next to a lovely old lady. And the train is very open. There's kids near me. There's a couple people behind me. And I'm on Amarantha's Twitter. And I'm flicking through trying to find whenever the hot tub exploded. And every picture was so not okay to be looking at in public. But I was like, again, really anxious, and I'm just trying to calm down, and I'm like hyper focusing, and I'm not like getting anything out of it, but I'm just scrolling, thinking, where the heck is this hot tub? I'm sick of seeing. And then I realized where I'm sat, and like some people behind me were like looking at my phone. It was all tits and ass.
I think what's most interesting about that story is that you pronounced Amaranth a litany of different ways. You said it differently each time. You said her name. You said Amaranth, Amaranth, Amazon. You said Amazon at one point.
No, I did not say
You absolutely said Amazon.
I said Amazon?
Yes, you called her Amazon. And a bunch of, you said it a lot in different ways.
Sorry, I was just thinking about Amazon Prime.
Yeah, which you could subscribe to each of us on our Twitches.
Let's move on.
Okay. We have a special guest today at some point.
Oh, yeah. Is he waiting right now? Keeping him waiting
probably.
while I've been talking about Amazon boobies?
Yes. It's very early in the morning for him. So we made him get up early just to wait for us.
Okay. Well,
that's not true. We canceled on him. We're doing this at a different day.
We did. Should we cue it up? Should we tell them what's about to happen?
So we were really excited to play Curse to Golf. Because,
and we have.
So we played the demo a while ago, and then we interviewed him on the show. He was one of the guys that we talked to during our little indie game showcase episode where we talked to 3 devs. And we've been playing Curse to Golf because it just came out, and we wanted to talk to him about what it was like to finally release the indie game you've been working on for many, many, many months.
I gotta say, all 3 guests we had that episode. One of my favorite episodes, by the way. I think we peaked. No, the Spawn Wave one was good. All 3 guests were really great, but Liam was a crowd favorite. So
Liam, we talked to him for a lot longer than we thought we were going to.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We talked to Arno.
The vibes were there, you know?
Well, Arno is like very professional. When the 15-minute mark hit, that we told him it'd be a 15-minute spot, he almost seemed like he was like, well, all right, boys. And then we went off on a tangent with Celia for a bit as well.
True.
And then, but when we got to Liam, the vibes were definitely
I've known
there.
Celia for a long time. Liam,
no, she was great.
Liam, I only met him one time before that, and you thought we like knew each other for like a long time.
That's how it felt. Also, Australian brotherhood, we got into it.
Oh yeah, so, even though he's not Australian at all.
No, but he sounds like it. That's good enough for me, mate. All right, let's talk to Liam.
Okay.
Bob, you want to bring us in?
Yeah, how does it feel to have your game finally out that you've been working on for a really long time?
I'm like really tired.
I could imagine.
I bet.
Was it a relief to post it, or is it more work when you posted it, when you released it?
No, it's more work. It becomes a different type of work as well. Like we had like a little party in the office, and I had to give a speech and everything, and I thought of, at the time, the only thing I could think of is it's really just like handing your baby out to like thousands of people who start calling your baby like either the cutest baby or the ugliest baby, or your baby like sucks, and like, or your baby's amazing. And it's, all of that at one time, especially very luckily, of course, on the scale with which we've had, is kind of overwhelming, right? We're a small team, and all of a sudden there's just this wave of everybody knows your game. Everybody knows all of its positives, all of its flaws, and everyone, sort of talks about it in different ways. And it really is quite a unique situation that I don't think there are many experiences. And maybe, you guys releasing your videos and stuff like that, something maybe that you've worked on really, really hard for a long time. And then all of a sudden, you expose it to the world, and then it becomes this crazy thing. But yeah, it's a different kind of feeling now. You go to trade shows and you meet people, and then people give you an inkling to what maybe the general feedback will be. And then you can take that and be like, oh, okay, maybe it'll be positive. But then there really is no second tries on a release. Mm-hmm. So you do it, and hopefully you've got it right. And it's been a roller coaster. It really is. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. And yeah, we just got to keep going. It's an exhausting time, but we're still in the throngs of the release and making sure everything goes right.
It's been a great reception so far. It was a 9 or 90 on Metacritic. Is it still a 90?
That's incredible.
It's gone down since then. It's 83, I think now. It's 83.
That's still really
very
great.
High.
Yeah. Thank you. It's kind of interesting actually, because I didn't expect it to be so divisive, which is, I didn't think, this.
What's divisive about it?
In what way? It's golf.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I thought. But because I think a lot of people like golf games are, quite a tried and true formula, I sense. I think a lot of people who wanted to like a golf game came into this maybe expecting too much of a golf game and then got this different, golf roguelike experience that they maybe didn't gel with, or it kind of disappointed them because it wasn't what they expected. And then, so especially with the reviews, I mean, we've not had anything less, I think, than a 6.5, which is really good because that's still good. But a lot of the, maybe in the professional reviews, the negatives are that, oh, I just wanted a chill time and to play golf, which not necessarily is this game, right?
I mean, God forbid you try shaking up the formula a little bit. Can't they just go and play one of the million other golf games?
Yeah. So, and then on the flip side of that is that the people who wanted what this game could offer them, like, then they really enjoy it. And I think the positives that we see are really positives. And then the negatives are kind of, a bit negative, more negative than I thought maybe. But it generally all has the same trend. So it feels good to, I think the worst thing you can ever have is a game that comes out and then there's like 1,000 different problems and everyone's finding something wrong that's different. But with us, it's like the positives are the positives and everyone sort of is praising it for those reasons. It's different, it's unique, it's a polished experience, it's fun and replayable. And then the people who maybe are not gelling with it don't like it because of literally probably the same 2 or 3 reasons: the difficulty, the vision that we allow in the game, and then possibly the fact that maybe towards the end, they get a bit, the courses can be a bit long, like the holes. If you don't take the shortcuts, if you take the main path, they can be long and take time. So it's great to have essentially feedback that is easily adjustable. The problem is nobody's going to re-review it, right? So you just have to kind of keep it up. And when you update it and stuff like that, make sure. But yeah, as you guys say, I probably focus maybe too much on the negatives just because it's my job to do so from this point on, right?
We all do.
Yeah. Yes. So, but yeah, I cannot believe it. It's like 83 on Metacritic. It's like 80 on OpenCritic. It has everybody that we wanted to play it, from that perspective of, you have this bank of people in your mind who you really wish would play it to give you that exposure or to get it in the right hands. Like we had Northern Lion play it recently. And
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, golf and roguelike is like smashing his 2 favorite genres together, and he seems to be enjoying it as well. So that's really good. And then, yeah, it's been reviewed almost everywhere. I think only maybe like IGN is not the place that's reviewed it yet, but GameSpot gave it a 9 out of 10 and stuff like that.
To give you a weird perspective from like, I guess a consumer, but also a YouTuber who reviews a lot of indie games and likes to think I keep my finger on the pulse of indie games when they release. Yours like is on the radar. Like there are so many games that come out every single day that just fly under the radar. You kind of feel bad for the devs. Yours is so painfully on the radar in a great way. And then, people that are playing it are having great things to say about it. So whatever you did leading up to the launch or just the game itself is definitely resonating with people.
I think making yourself a personality in the marketing definitely helped it resonate with people. Helped put it in the mainstream.
Liked your little video on Twitter today. I watched that.
Yeah, I think that's the best. I think that's the best thing we've done. It's the most. I mean, we play games too, right? We're not just game devs anyway. We come up, you can see, my plethora of crap behind me, right? Like it's I've always been a gamer, right? And I think in the interest when things go wrong, you want to know kind of what's happening or what people are going to do about it, but also games are made by human beings. They're not, you could think of EA as, a massive faceless corporation or something like that. But there are, even people there who work really hard to make experiences for people to enjoy. And then on the indie game level, it is a case of like 5 to 10 human beings just working away at it. And that's what we are. And we're very proud of our little game. And we want to show it off in the best way we can, which is basically to have the people who know it best to talk about it, which is us. And then hopefully just basically give a human element to it. And I think that's one of the best things we've done. And I think we'll carry on doing it, especially as we approach the more negative things, which is like bug fixing and updates and stuff like that. So the video we did recently is to approach the Switch issue at the moment, which is pretty bad and on us, unfortunately.
What is that?
A crash.
What happened?
What'd you do?
There's a crash. You would like it, Bob, because you hate the Scotsman. But there's a crash in the Scotsman if he gets to a certain point. So if he gets towards the latter stage, this never came up until, honestly, the last build we made for Switch, which is due to the performance of the Switch and the way the Switch handles frame rates and like, you know, we call it time step in the game. We have things like the teleporters and the fans that, you know, depending on the performance of the game at that time, can bug out. So when he hits his shot, because his shot travels at a certain velocity, which is quite fast considering he hits it really hard, it can actually mess up and crash the game. And unfortunately, it's more reproable. By more reprobable, it's like almost 90% of the time. So that absolutely sucks. That's been like the biggest problem we had. And this then goes back to what you guys talked to me about last time, which is like going through submission and stuff like that. We submitted a fix to Nintendo on Friday. It's Monday. Well, it's Tuesday here now, and they've still not released it. So people keep asking us every day, when's it going to be released? And even we don't know. So it's incredibly frustrating. But that's just one of the things, right? That's kind of on us. You know, everybody says, oh, basic QA would have found this out. And it's like, look, it wasn't in the game until the last minute, right? You make a change.
Also, like, don't you pay Nintendo to check that?
Well, exactly.
Like, isn't that part of the eShop situation?
That's a difficult one because those guys are not going to do everything. But
right.
That, I think this bug got through because it's a case of like, we play the game really, really well, and you have to try to nerf yourself to test those things. So that's something where the Scotsman, if he was able to beat me, which he's not,
so really, the only people getting the crash are the people that suck. So
yeah, you
maybe
can,
if they were a little better, you
can get past it. But it does suck because, of course, if you've bought a brand new game that you've been excited about and you can only get to the first boss and you can't beat him because it crashes or whatever, that is not great, and that is entirely on us. So that sucks. That's been like my waking nightmare every day, hoping that I wake up to an email from Nintendo saying it's released. But yeah, so. You know, but talking about it openly, I think, is the best way. A lot of devs, I think, hide away from it because mentally that's probably the best thing to do. Like, if you get stuck in these things, you'll never be able to tackle them. But for us, it's a case of we've been like face first the entire development. We'll just keep going. We'll update you and, you know, we'll be honest about it. And even if you're still upset or angry, then, you know, we'll do our best to rectify that. But yeah, the player response has for the most part been really, really good. And it's amazing to think I've always just wanted to make games, but then, you know, that dream then shifts into always wanting to make a game that goes big or does well. And we got a 9 out of 10 for GameSpot. As Wood says, you know, it's one of the most talked about games at the moment, and people are actually buying it. It's kind of like, oh, okay, we did it. We kind of did it.
No, you definitely did. I'm really, really happy for you. Really proud of you.
Thanks,
you know, obviously it was mostly because of our podcast and
100%
promoting it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was just saying.
Like, I'll give you the 10% later. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, appreciate it. It was 15, but that's fine.
I think well, you know, the Switch one's got issues, and that's you guys' area.
That is true. Well, I'll message Nintendo, tell them to hurry up.
Ironically, neither of us got it on Switch, right? I think we're both playing it on PC.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty funny. We both got it on Steam.
But I still can't get past the fucking Scotsman. I don't think Wood got that far,
Wait,
right?
no, I got it on Switch. I did.
Oh, you got it on Switch?
Just don't play it yet.
Did you get up to the Scotsman?
What, like when he's like giving you the whole spiel? And
no, he's the final boss of the first like world.
Oh, I did not get to the final boss yet.
I cannot fucking beat him, dude. I saw Misclick beat him. I did not beat him.
Wait,
the screenshot I sent you was him saying, "Tough luck, kid."
Oh, was it? I thought you beat him.
It was him saying, "Too bad, bud."
Oh, I don't appreciate that when I said I didn't get to the end yet, Liam said, "Oh, good. No, Liam, if I got to the end, I wouldn't suck. I'd be fine.
Right,
I would be fine."
That's true.
So it's just a good job that Bob didn't get it on Switch, is what we're saying.
True. Yeah,
exactly.
Because Bob would have had to crash. Because I suck.
100%. Because I can't beat the goddamn guy. I saw some of the criticism I saw was that people didn't realize it was a roguelike.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Which maybe they're right. Like, I don't know. This is a thing. I think when you're in it, like, you think everybody knows about your game. And you know, right. Sometimes you're kind of right. Like, you know, as Wood says, like, at the moment, if you know about the games industry, you probably know about Curse to Golf in somewhat. You know, this month has been amazing. Rollerdrome, Cult of the Lamb, you know, Curse to Golf. It's been an amazing month for indies. So you probably know about it. But maybe if you're just a casual gamer or something, you see this golf game and you haven't seen all the promotion, and then somebody says it's a golf like, maybe you don't get that means that it's golf and a roguelike, and possibly they miss that and then they buy it and it isn't what they expect. The tags and everything say roguelike and stuff, so you know,
I think it's pretty obvious. When I started it and I streamed it so you can see my reaction, I didn't know too much about the game. I just kind of assumed I knew the game based on like context clues, and the whole time I was doing that initial course of like putting it down, I was like, all right, but when am I gonna die? Like, like when like I get the point. Curse to Golf, I know this isn't gonna be a traditional golf game. It's gonna get wacky after some point. And when I, you know, understood the scope of the game, I got really excited because I gotta be honest, I don't want to play just another golf game. I was excited when it twisted up on its head.
Yeah, and I think maybe just some people didn't understand that, or they had missed it.
I don't really know. I don't really know the perspective because I didn't know anything about it until you explained it to me, Liam. So I had the best. There you go. I had the best explanation of the game I could possibly get. Was literally a 45-minute explanation of you walking me through how to play the game. So that's why I knew it was a roguelike, but I don't know the perspective of somebody who maybe just saw like a trailer or something.
Exactly right. I think it's a case of we never really know. We can only really do our best and hope that when people pick it up that the game explains itself, and
it certainly does.
Yeah, I think we tried.
I believe it does.
To say, you know, you get through 18 holes. If you fail, you come back to the start. So from the very beginning, you know, the game kind of explains that. Whether you take that as, oh, it's a roguelike, I don't know. You know, roguelikes tend to be you die, you go back to the start and stuff like that. It's a difficult one because you think of all the ways you could have done it better or how you would approach it, because, you know, everything's a learning experience to build onto the next thing and you know, try to get it better next time. But you think, oh, well, there's only so much room for dialogue, and people already complain about how much dialogue there is anyway. So where do you go from there in that instance?
Yeah, but you have a fast forward button, which is
we do,
fantastic.
which you get that. Miss.
You'll get that with any game at any point. I feel maybe a little more so with some indies, but like even like Cult of the Lamb, which just came out recently, and people are loving it. There's still plenty of complaints. I still have plenty of complaints. Everyone's going to have complaints, you know, between the weapons. The weapons is a main one a lot of people are having because there's like one really good usable weapon. So I'm sure that Cult of the Lamb devs are probably...
I need to know that weapon.
The sword and the dagger. The dagger's okay. The sword is pretty good, but the axe and the hammer are useless, and everyone's saying that. So I'm sure the devs might look at that and be like, well, if we go back, we'd add these weapons and blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying. No, the claws, actually. The claws. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about Cult of the Lamb. I'm trying to make a point. I'm sure they would want to go back and chop and change some things as well. But end of the day, they have a successful game and you have a successful game.
I mean, those guys have like stratospherically successful game.
Because of Twitch integration. So next time you make a game, Twitch integration day one, I guarantee it'll be just as hype.
I immediately thought about it after I saw them. I know James, who's the art director of Cult of Lamb, a lot, and we talk a lot about the different things we've done and stuff. And yeah, so many smart decisions that those guys did. The side effect of that is that, you know, unfortunately for them, they're a small team and their bugs are kind of crazy as well, right? So
yeah, the Twitch integration was buggy as heck.
Yeah, it's the scope of these things that's tough, and you know, it's a fair balance between what you want to achieve versus what you can achieve, and obviously, it's not detracted from the fact that that game sold 1 million copies, which is like. That's bonkers. Those guys are going to be eating bread for, you know, the next 20 years. That's insane, right? But smart, because the game is amazing and rad. And as you said, Wood, I think it speaks to the fact that a lot of gamers can get past those issues because, not every game is perfect. And yeah, for us, it's a case of like, we're actually really happy. I'm very proud of like our programmer, Sean. He's a young guy and he's worked his ass off to do this. And like, even the small, tiny issues that we're having right now are like easily correctable. Somebody from Nintendo literally just messaged me saying they're following up on the patch to help. And it's like, okay, yeah, all of these things that can come together. And
well, like just now?
Literally just now.
Oh, okay, you just saw it. Well,
congratulations.
Yeah.
Finally.
They're following up on the patch. So fingers
Breaking
crossed.
news here on the Nontendo Podcast. We're finally current with something.
Yeah. By the time you listen to this, if the patch is still not out, please, for the love of God, you find me in a cave because I won't be able to handle it. I know.
Three more days if it's not out.
Oh my
right
God.
now.
Yeah. We'll have to push another patch at some point. But it's been a roller coaster for sure.
So some of the feedback I've gotten while I was streaming it was most people saying, "What is this game? I want this game. This looks awesome." And the other one I was surprised by was a lot of people wanted multiplayer.
Yeah, you guys hear it first. We actually did have multiplayer in the game super early on, like really, really early, because when you develop games with like publishers, you have like milestones, right? So I don't think many people know how sort of game development really works in terms of like, how do you get paid and stuff. Of course, you have the budget for the game that you agree with the publisher, and then that actually gets split up over the course of development into milestones. And then those milestones are essentially, presentations to the publisher to show how you're doing and how the game's coming along. And then you either fail or pass the milestone. Most of the time you pass the milestone and then you get paid, right? So when you show it to the publisher, that is a big moment for you to get feedback and all those kind of things. And there was the vice president of, I guess he's the VP now, of Thunderful, our publisher, a guy called Dieter, this really funny German dude. And he was like, "Where is the multiplayer? Like, where? Like, why is the no?" It's like it was just as easy for him to say as anything, right? Like, why is this one feature not in it? It's a golf game.
Mm-hmm.
So we immediately went from there, and we went and we just got it working. We tested it and made it, and it was really fun. Like, two people going at it in this already difficult game, you versus the environment. You end up being competitive, but also trying to G each other on to stay in the game. And it was really fun. The problem with that was that, at that time we were still developing what Curse to Golf would be. And it worked out that multiplayer wasn't something that was going to work immediately. But we do have this sort of idea that we wanted to make new ace cards that were more multiplayer focused. So a bit more like Mario Kart power-ups. So you could actually affect the other player.
I like that.
It's something that we definitely want to do with an update. Not sure how soon or when it will happen, but it's definitely like at the top of the list for us to make in a future DLC update or something. I want it myself.
A lot of people back to playing it for sure.
Yeah, exactly, right. And already we have a lot of people chasing like the leaderboard and score chasing and stuff like that. I've seen people beating my scores, which is insane. Like that's a time investment. So multiplayer comes back in, then those people can play competitively against each other, and that would be really cool. So
Bob and I, multiplayer on Twitch with Twitch integration 3 months from now. Make it happen.
Aye, sir. I'm already panicking. Yeah, but definitely it's something we want to do. There's a whole list of things like multiplayer, like a level editor. Like the holes are basically just built out of blocks, right? What if you?
Yeah, you got Bob's heart racing on that.
Got a lot of cool shit coming to Curse to Golf.
Yeah, that's
I'm very excited for this 6-month patch.
Because I really
things you want to do. We should preface this. Things that you want to do with
things I want to do, but and this is why like the success is really important, because the more successful you are, the more your publisher and the more your studio want to just keep it going, right? Because there's a long tail for indie games now due to stuff like the Steam sale and all that kind of things that can spike you up again and honestly just keep from a financial perspective keep going for a while. So the more that can happen, the more then content you can make for the game. Therefore, it's like an Ouroboros where it eats itself. Yeah, the more successful it is, the more it keeps going and becoming more successful. And it just keeps going like that. Yeah, a level editor is something I want to make because I would make it like Mario Maker where you had to finish your own level. And like what is so great about Curse to Golf is you could make really devious levels similar to Mario Maker because the game is tough and has a lot of hazards that you could put in. But if you could finish it, then you could post it and then other people could try it. I would love to try people's really hard coaster golf levels. It'd be awesome, even for me. So that's something I definitely want to.
Is fully bricked right now. I'm just letting you know.
I'm a big time Mario Maker guy. But I don't make the levels. I just like playing what other people do because other people make crazy shit you could never think of. If you just if you just let anybody fuck around with a game, they do some wild stuff and it turns out awesome. So yeah, imagine just unleashing like the tools you made to make the game on everybody and letting anybody do whatever they want.
That is the plan. You know, it's gonna, on our end, it's gonna require some technical stuff because the one thing, ours is built so we lay all the collision and hazards out with like preliminary blocks first, and then we art it up, right? So the art is not auto-generated to be the stuff. Like we actually art everything up. So it's like you have the collision and then you overlay it with art. Now we can't have you guys do that, so we have to create the tech to have everything auto tile based on what you're placing down. So it's going to look a little more simple and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely something we want to do because then it extends the longevity of the game even further. It's going to make it more rewarding experience for people who are already really good at the game. I can't believe how many people have already finished all 18 holes. I never expected within 3 days. I think we had on Steam alone, we had over 300 people almost finish the game, and that's insane because the game is hard. Yeah, so
the game is very hard. That's why it's good. It makes you want to keep doing it over and over again.
That's what I hope, right? A lot of people, I think, maybe thought it was too hard and didn't want to do that, but for the majority, you know, it is that case of like it gets that roguelike clause into you and you're like, no.
Yeah, roguelikes, that's the thing. And I guess I'm now seeing the picture a little more as someone who isn't further into the game. But for roguelikes to be rewarding, they do have to be hard because if you finish a roguelike in your second run, that's a bad game. I mean, you wasted your money. I think the confusion is that golf is typically a casual, light-hearted game.
Which is hilarious because golf in real life is like the hardest fucking sport in the world.
Right.
You know, it's like, come on.
That makes sense. But I mean, I think that's what makes it so perfect. You've taken something that typically has been a kind of a casual, easy experience and you've made it hard. You've made it brutally hard, but also fun at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that's something really unique, something that hasn't been done before. And if anybody is criticizing you for doing that, I think they're bonkers. I think maybe it's not your favorite thing. Maybe you don't like it, but that has nothing to do with the special thing that you have just created.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
One thing I think we're going to mitigate pretty quickly, I think we're hoping to sort of wrap that up this week, is we're going to add a practice mode in, I think. And the practice mode will, you know, it will do a couple of things, but it will allow you maybe to play a hole and then restart it if you fail or something like that. Or there's these hazards in the game that deal -1 penalties because your ball gets destroyed, whether it's hitting spikes or you get a ball taken by a grave grabber. And then maybe we turn off the -1 penalty as well. But then, you know, that practice mode, there's no leaderboard entry or there's no, you can't unlock achievements through that. But you can practice the game and get used to it without being penalized really hard. So then you can challenge yourself to take on the intended gameplay path, which is the Curse to Golf. So I think what we can do is we can sort of meet in the middle with a lot of these people who are struggling maybe, or, you know, who want to enjoy it more than maybe they are right now by allowing them to safely play it. Like it's interesting to talk about safely playing something in a video game because, you know, if you play it and you can't do it, then it doesn't personally hurt you. But I feel like a lot of people don't want to risk it, right?
I think it is a similar argument to people wanting like an easy mode in Dark Souls where it's
that's a tough one because those guys
it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
I don't think we've earned it yet. Like those guys have earned it over time. If we doubled down and we just made it harder, I think that would earn some sort of respect from some people, but maybe would be a business decision that's probably not for the best. But I think one thing that we haven't done yet, just because of the way development works, and I feel very bad about it, is we don't have accessibility options, right? Like, I think there's a difference between making a game easy and making the game accessible for the majority. And it's, we have spin in the game where you have to mash a button. For some people, that's really hard and they can't mash the button. So we want to meet them in the middle and, give them something that allows them to do it, because that's a really key, important feature to getting good in the game. So, if a majority of people can't mash a button because of whatever disability or, issues they may have, then we want to rectify that too. People who are not very good at timing based things. So we have, of course, the power and the angle, which are all timing based because it's meant to be skill based. But maybe they can't do it because they suffer from whatever issues they might be suffering from. So we can meet them in the middle there and also, help them be able to play. We don't want people not to play because they have, an issue that stops them from playing. We can't just make it easier because you're not good at it. That's the wrong way to go about it. And I think the argument for us is more to just make it easier for people who can't tackle the main game for whatever reason, whether it's a disability or it's, issues with watching, things move fast. So that's what we're going to try and do. We'll try and meet in the middle to make it so that the main experience, our intended experience, is unaffected, but people can jump in without being too scared of actually getting it wrong. And hopefully then a lot more people will get through the 18 and play it.
You're a really good guy, you know that?
It kind of sucks if people can't experience your thing, right? You
want the most amount of people to want to play the game, so making it accessible to the most people possible just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it feels sad. We've had a couple of messages about people not being able to use spin, and spin is our secret sauce in the game. It's it's what makes the game the game. Our level design is built around the fact that we implemented spin. So further in the game, the platforms get smaller because you get better and better at the game, and it feels like a more rewarding experience as you can go. But if you can't do that because you can't mash the button because your hand hurts, that sucks. So I want to fix that for you immediately. We will do that. So
how would you fix that? What's the fix there?
It would be to hold the button instead of mashing
like a
so
turbo.
You can hold it. Yeah, because mashing it allows you to it basically builds up. Spin is basically just a velocity counter that just goes depending on how much you mash it. The more you mash it, and then it decreases. So you could just hold that, and then you let it go. And so we'll get somewhere to that where we can. The thing with all these things is they're trickier than they sound, because the thing that panics me is not necessarily actually implementing it, because our programmer can do it. It's the fact that we have to just make a UI that then allows you to click it, and then we have to get that text translated into different languages. And it's all these weird knock-on effects that suck.
Yeah.
We want to add a practice mode. We could just be practice mode. Now, the problem is in the 10 languages that we ship the game in, we have to get that piece of text translated, and then we have to get all of the rules for the practice mode translated. And then it becomes a bit of
we're stressing you out. We didn't mean to stress you out.
No, okay. Your game released. It's doing great. We're cool.
Stress myself out. It's all good. We'll get there. We'll get there on these things. So I'm really chuffed with how it's come along so far. I mean, I don't know. If you told me you're 83 on Metacritic or whatever, I'd be like, okay, let's take that. I'm not risking it. We'll take that. That's amazing. And it's from the publisher side, Thunderful is this really big publisher, and we've been their biggest release for quite some time. And they actually, Coastal Golf was actually their most key code requested game, I think, of all time.
Really?
Wow.
I think they had over 800 key requests or something stupid. Wow. So that's insane.
I bought mine to support you. I didn't even ask.
You gave me a PS5 code and I bought it on Steam anyway.
And then you bought it. I know. Look, my heart.
And then listen, I wasn't gonna say this, but I gave that code to my brother so we could talk about it on the podcast, and he said it was redeemed already. I think
I'll get you a new one.
I think I don't want it. I think I accidentally leaked the DM on a stream or something. Somebody might have seen that code. I don't know how else it would have been redeemed like that. But no, I got it on Steam. And I've been enjoying it on Steam because now I can play it on my Steam Deck too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can I vent for one moment?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead, please.
So we all love the Steam Deck, right? We talked about the Steam Deck last time, and I test that game on the Steam Deck all the time, and one of our massive aims was to get the playable, the verified badge on Steam Deck. Yeah. And it was we were nailed. We were like, we're gonna do this. It's just somehow Cursed to Golf works perfectly on Steam Deck. We're gonna make sure it locks to 16:9. We're gonna make sure everything's okay so that we can get that verified badge on Steam Deck. And we had a meeting with Valve recently at Bit Summit here in Japan. And we talked about, how excited we always showed them the game. And they were like, yeah, this looks great. You guys are awesome. It's been great meeting you. And they gave us a free Steam Deck as well, which is even super cool as well.
Just giving them out as party gifts.
It was amazing. They were like,
you can't buy one at home, but you can get one if you give a developer go to Bit Summit as a business card. Here you go.
And then they unlocked on the Steam backend the ability for us to go through the review process of it. And so we immediately stuck it in and we were like, oh, yes, come on. Like, this will be amazing. Get it verified. Like a week later, it comes back and it says playable, which is the second second from verified. Ooh. And I was like, oh.
What was the reason?
The reason
was
tiny text.
Yeah.
I know it. Yeah. I've noticed that. I hate that. I've been looking at. I did a whole review on Steam Deck, and you've got the verified, which is the green tick.
Yep.
And then the next one is playable, which is like a giant warning sign that unless you go in and read it, and there's two things that I find is ridiculous that get flagged a lot. One is may have a launcher, which is dumb. It's never been an issue for any game.
Well, yes, it's kind of a little bit of an issue having a launcher. It's a little bit of a pain
but
to have to go through.
But it's nothing to do with the game. Like once the game is going, but that's why I'm saying like if you're scrolling through and you're looking for a game and it doesn't have verified and you skip it, I feel like a lot of people would be annoyed if they then found out, oh, it's just because of a launcher for 2 seconds or because of like maybe tiny text.
Tiny text I see most. I see most of the time.
It's been 2 seconds for me every time. Also, tiny text. Does your game have tiny text? Yes or no?
Arguably it does, but it's only in a specific. Okay. It's only in a specific area, and actually, it's not. It's more.
In my experience, it's never actually been tiny text, and it's always going to be tiny text because it's a small screen.
It's the ace cards. So the body of text on the ace cards that explain what the card does is maybe too small in foreign languages. Is what was flagged. So let's say Japanese kanji or Korean hangul or simplified Chinese kanji. At that resolution, at that scale, it could become unreadable. So they flagged it, which is kind of sucks because they don't have LQA. They're just guessing. So they say anything above 9 point is fine, and we are.
I don't love that system. I feel like it should have a green tick, and then when you click on the verified, it says, but also just so you know, there could be tiny text.
Yeah. Thankfully, we kind of redeemed ourselves in the fact that the Steam Deck Reddit was all like Cursed to Golf plays great on Steam Deck. We can't believe this didn't get verified, but and was basically like fighting for our back. So we're getting it into the hands of the people who care on Steam Deck. So.
I mean, the demo worked perfect. And I didn't even say that it was playable or anything. It said unverified or whatever, and it worked fine.
To the 10 people watching that managed to get a Steam Deck, buy Cursed to Golf. It's perfect.
Or play the demo. You can still get the demo, right?
Yeah, you can still get the demo, of course. Yeah.
And is the demo the whole first world?
Yeah.
I still have not even beaten the fucking demo? Why'd I buy the game?
I mean,
spent like 30 hours on this goddamn game. I haven't even paid for. I shouldn't have even paid for it yet. Anyway,
how many holes is the first world?
5. So it's
4. Wow, Bob, you suck.
Shut up! You ain't even gotten there anyway.
I've been busy.
Yeah, we've all been busy.
You can do it. Like, you're gonna have to stream it again so I can sit in and like watch you go through it because there's plenty of shortcuts there, Bob. You can do it. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Bob's good at Mario Maker and Smash.
How can you be good at Mario Maker
until this game, and then all of a sudden?
Yeah, I was gonna say. How can you not be good at this if you're good at Mario Maker? That stuff's insane.
Well, that was a very long 15 minutes.
Oh yes, yes it was. Congratulations on your big old release.
Thank you guys.
How many games have you shipped?
For having me again? professionally, I guess about 5 now. But
so
if you want to talk,
you know what's up.
If you want to talk about like this kind of like feeling where you had more creative control, let's say 2.5. I shipped a mobile game.
Oh damn.
That didn't really go anywhere. So yeah, like 2.5. This is the first like big boy though, I guess.
Well, we had you on episode 3 talking about the game upcoming. Now the game is out and it's doing very well and it's scoring very well and we both love it.
Thank you.
So congratulations. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your game and your experiences with the podcast. It means a lot to us.
No problem. Anytime. Honestly, thank you so much for having me. And thank you for now. I hope you both feel justified having me on earlier without even releasing. And now it's come out and you guys were like...
We were already justified because you were the fan favorite from the episode. People always ask to have you back on.
True. It was great people from that episode.
Also, when Bob and I visit Japan next year, you gotta hang out.
Of course.
I want to get some honey toast with you.
Yeah, let's get it. Hachimitsu no toast. We'll get it. Come on.
I had to teach Bob what it was.
Well, thanks for coming back again.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Liam.
Thanks, dudes. I really appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you for the support as well. It really does mean a lot. You guys are rad. Really, thank you.
Everyone buy Curse to Golf.
Man, what a great guy that Liam is. What a solid fellow.
I can't wait to boogie on down to the servo with him and crack a cold one.
Hopefully,
Foster's
hopefully by the time we talk to him, I will have beaten the first world in that game. That's very hard.
Hopefully, I would have played more than like 30 minutes. You know what?
I played a lot of it and have not gotten that far. It is very hard. It's a golf game, and it's very difficult.
Ooh! We didn't talk about this. I have only played 30 minutes because I went live to play it, and then 30 minutes in, you and Jackson were like, let's play Kirby Dream Buffet. That'll be a fun time. Do we want to quickly do a score review of Dream Buffet?
Yeah, the only reason I agreed to play it, I mean, I wanted to try that game, but the only reason I agreed to stream it with you two at the time was because you said you would give it a cheeky 30 minutes. And I was like, ooh,
yeah,
30 minutes? I'm down. What a non-commitment that is.
Scoot called me on his stream, and because
big no-no, by the way.
Yes, it is. I messaged Scoot and said, do you want to play Kirby tonight on stream? He called me while streaming, which he's been in trouble for that multiple times. Yes. And if you watch the stream, I actually yell at him, and I'm like, have you not learned your lesson?
I just so happened to tune in at that time.
And then he was like, I want to play Kirby. And I was like, yeah, but I have a feeling I'm not going to like it because it looks like Fall Guys and I hate Fall Guys. So I will give it 30 minutes if I'm allowed to pull a ripcord at 30 minutes and say, I am not playing this game anymore. And he agreed to that. And then suddenly you were in the chat like, ooh, 30 minutes?
Yeah, I was down for that. Also because I wanted to play Cult of the Lamb, which we should also talk about.
Oh, dude,
there's so many things we should talk about today.
Wow, we're such idiots. We literally sat down to come back from the Liam talk, and we were like, well, we're out of stuff to talk about, and now look at us now.
There's so many things to talk about still.
Oh, man, we're bad at podcasting. Mm-hmm. Where do I even begin now? Okay, Kirby. Kirby sucks. Move on.
It's a terrible game. It's so bad. And the frame rate is atrocious. I can't believe they released this game. Yes, and they charge money for it. It's $15. That should be a free, like, with Nintendo Switch Online situation.
Sorry, I'm just preach, brother. Amen.
Oh, I thought you were having an issue.
No. Oh my God. Maybe I shouldn't scare you after today.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
No, I was like picking up the Holy Spirit of what you were putting down.
Amen. Bless you.
Amen. No, yeah, I have never played a first-party Nintendo game that had that many like technical issues. Like the frame rates were absolutely out of control. They were dipping down to like 3. And when you're playing a game that's
it's hard to control, it's like a little
it's like
jank.
A hybrid it's a hybrid of Mario Kart and Fall Guys with weirdly Mario Party at the end where it gives bonus strawberries for no checking reason.
What? How do you feel about those bonus stars at the end of Kirby?
Fun story. Bob and I had a little TikTok clip blow up where we were arguing about whether or not bonus stars in Mario Party were a good idea. Something like 600,000 views or something.
You didn't seem to agree. You didn't seem to agree that bonus stars were trash. And how do you feel? How do you feel about the little bonus strawberries in Kirby's Dream Course that are the same thing? It's the same.
If my dad sucks at Mario Party, I don't want him winning Mario Party.
You didn't like it. You didn't like it when it happened to you, Wood. It was fine when it happens to anybody else, but when it's you, all of a sudden you have a problem with it.
No, I gotta be honest. Yeah, I'm on your side now. Sure, it sucks.
You.
But
thanks,
at least
guys.
in Mario Party,
this is a momentous occasion for me.
At least in Mario Party, there's kind of a rhyme or reason to it. Like, you kind of know while you're playing.
Are you having a piss? I'm trying to speak your language now.
Guy.
There is no rhyme or reason to bonus stars.
There is. You just aren't good at it. No, because Mario Party is like 45 minutes long. It's very methodical. And you can do things like, well, if I go this way, I'm going to land on a happen space. And the chance of there being a happen star at the end, that might be a good idea to try and like increase my chances of that bonus star.
It's the same in Kirby's. Yes, there's the blueberry one. If you get enough blueberries, sometimes you'll get strawberries for getting the blueberries.
No, because Kirby is like 10 seconds long. You're blasting through a track. You don't have time to think about anything. You have no idea where the blueberry's even going to be. It's just all of a sudden, there's a blueberry.
I think maybe you're just not good at Kirby's Dream Buffet.
Oh, I'm not, to be fair. Okay, they're very comparable. All I'm saying is in Mario Party, at least you have time to freaking think about the bonus stars. Whereas in Kirby, I won. Dude, I played so well. I demolished.
Yeah.
I raced my little heart out and came first, full guy style, got the qual, got the crown, and then the game goes, well, Scoot got a blueberry, so he's going to win.
This sounds...
What is that?
Are we still talking about Kirby's Dream Buffet? Because this sounds very familiar.
That's not even what makes the game bad, though, to be fair. It sucks.
It sucks to do so good the whole round.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you lose. Imagine winning a whole Fall Guys show, and then at the very end, once you grab the crown, they're like, yeah, but Jackson got a blueberry.
That's exactly it.
He can win.
Mario Party, you have a point, but at least it works in the confines of the game. This is a competitive... Mario Party's competitive. I don't know. I can't talk my way out of this one. I just hate it in that game.
You fucked up, Wood. You fucked up. You're wrong about Mario Party. And you see it in Kirby's Dream Course. It made you understand that Bob's right. Let me relish a little bit.
Maybe. That's fine. You can have it. That's not even why that game is bad, though. It doesn't help. The game just sucks. It's not fun. Very sluggish.
It's technically bad. There's not much to it. There's like 3 levels. And
well, actually, one thing I learned is the more you level up, the more you unlock more levels and stuff. I don't know how many there are. I think that's a dumb system, but inherently they all feel very samey. That doesn't matter. That's not the point. It just shouldn't have been $15. It just should have been free. I don't know why it wasn't free.
Or significantly better.
Or significantly better, but free with some microtransactions to buy little stupid hats. And like, I know it's insane to sit here and like in 2022, and I would like 15-year-old me would punch me in the face right now saying that it should be free with microtransactions. But unfortunately, we're at the state of gaming now where someone can release a half-baked, pun not intended because the game's about food, piece of crap and just put it out there, and it's okay because it's free. Who's going to complain? It doesn't matter. Who cares if it's an hour long and barely playable? It's free and no one's going to complain. What I mean?
If I played Kirby's Dream Course and it was part of Nintendo Switch Online, I would have been like, okay, that was worth a Nintendo Switch Online subscription for the month.
It's a perfect
I played it
game.
for 2 seconds. I got my fix and I'm good.
It's a perfect game for that. It makes you feel like you got something. It's there. It definitely is playable. I'm sure you could play it with a kid and have a good time, but $15 for me was way too steep.
3 grown-ass men playing that game was not a fun time. We were struggling really hard getting through that.
Speaking of games that are worth it, here's one of my classic segues. Cult of the Lamb is only like, what, $20, $25?
It's 20, I believe.
Like a cup of coffee more than Dream Buffet, and you have a fully fleshed out, lovingly crafted, albeit actually kind of buggy on Switch, apparently. I wouldn't know I'm playing it on PC, but people have been complaining about the Switch launch. I also played it on my Steam Deck last night in bed, and it's fantastic. I love it. It's
why are we playing it on PC?
We're playing it on PC because they are, and this is so brilliant. And honestly, I feel like as a streamer, we get to experience this game better than anyone else is ever going to.
It's a little, our bias is a little slanted with this game specifically, I think. It's a fun game. The mechanics are really fun, but we get to enjoy it a lot more than most other people would.
Yeah, no, I love it and I would love it. And I can tell that I would love it. And if I was to review it, I would take the Twitch aspect out of my review. But the Twitch aspect as a streamer heightens it so much. The reason why it works, and I'm going to explain what the Twitch aspect does, but you play as a little cute lamb and you run a cult. So the whole time you're gathering followers, you're trying to keep them alive in a little village like Animal Crossing. You're feeding them, you're taking care of them. At the same time, you're possibly sacrificing them to the lords above, which gives you crazy bonuses. And you get to bathe in their blood. Now that sounds cool, right? Now imagine if your followers were actually your Twitch followers.
Yeah.
So your Twitch followers could actually design a villager or a follower on their end. It's all like proxy to them on their PC. They have the full designer of all the outfits and whatever designs. They put the follower in the game. It has their name on it. And then from there, you're taking care of one of your actual followers. It's so crazy how well it translates because you have followers in a cult and you have followers on Twitch. I mean, Twitch is essentially a cult. Like every little streamer has their own cult.
We have our own followers. We got people who give us money and stuff. When people show up every friggin' night to watch us stream, like it's kind of is a little.
It's so transferable. It works so well, and you have such fun moments. Like when you're on a run, because there's a Hades side to it too, where you go out exploring and killing creatures and things.
It's a roguelite.
If you die, I have a perk where I can sacrifice one of my followers to give me another life. So I can literally go, all right, Steven from chat, I'm going to bathe in your blood right now, and you're going to give me life to continue this run. It sucks for them, but it's such a fun moment on stream.
Yeah. And the fact that you have that connection where they're in the game is something I haven't experienced in any other game before. And it's a single player game. So the fact that it's a single player game and the people in your own chat are in it is brilliant. Other than that, though, it really is just like a roguelite. I mean, the biggest reason it was so popular when it was announced was because you have to build your little village and you go out on adventures, and it's like a Binding of Isaac style, like dungeon crawler. And then you bring all those resources back to your village and build the village. So it's like Animal Crossing / Binding of Isaac. And it's like, and it works really well for what it is. I've been really enjoying it.
There are so many different ways to upgrade, from upgrading your town to how you interact with your villagers to upgrading yourself. Like this, seriously, there's like 50 different upgrade trees, it feels like.
I don't like that stuff. I don't like having to spend too much time like upgrading and going through skill trees and trying to find the perfect path to get the biggest build. But it feels super rewarding in this game to go out, do the adventure, beat a boss, get all of the loot, and then implement it.
Because the runs are so short. And then you also have you can go to a little area and do fishing, go to another little area and play a little dice game. There's so much to do. I love these indie games, man. They're so packed full of content for $20. Stardew Valley is still $15, and that is insane. And then you look at Kirby Dream Buffet being $15, something they crapped out in an evening.
Yes.
But yeah, Cult of the Lamb is good. There's also
Cult of the Lamb is also
too.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful game.
Yo, no, gorgeous art style. I mean, I get Cuphead vibes, not because it's similar, but just you'll get it if you play it. But yeah, you can also have other Twitch interaction too. Like people can give channel points to your totem. When your totem gets full, you can redeem a reward. There's supposed to be other rewards and things players can do, like messing with you in your game, making things harder or easier or whatever. But the Twitch interaction, they're an indie team, and the Twitch interaction has been pretty busted since it launched, and they've had the bare bones stuff working, but for the most part, it's been rough.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I've had, I think people give channel points for totems, but most of what I've been seeing is just people building their own villagers. Like my people in my chat are in my village, and every single person in my village is somebody from the chat. So it makes me not want to play offline because I feel like I'm gonna miss something. I feel like I feel like I need every single person in my village to be one of my Twitch followers. I haven't had much of a problem with the Twitch integration, but the reason why we play on PC is because the Twitch integration doesn't work on other consoles.
No, it doesn't. That's just how it works.
Yet.
It's just there. Yeah. But have you ever had it where like people have had to vote on like one thing or another thing?
No, I haven't gotten.
See, yours hasn't been working either. That's what I'm talking about. They've turned off a bunch of the features that would be there. I actually kind of stopped playing.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought the only thing was that the followers could be people in your chat, and that's all I really care about.
You've been doing the totem thing though, right?
Yeah, I think people have been giving channel points to totem. I just keep redeeming totem stuff. I don't know.
Well, the totem will have 2 bars, a white bar and then a purple bar.
Yeah. The purple one's the Twitch thing.
I stopped playing on Twitch because I was like, I'll play when it's all here, because I was having other issues too. Like
it was crashing for you, but I started late, way after the game launched.
It actually, as much as I love it, it actually broke my stream because the raffle to get a villager crashed the game, and then in turn crashed my PC, and my OBS went down.
I thought it was an OBS plugin, and that's why it crashed. But
no, it's no.
I did notice
it just crashed everything.
I did notice when I open up the skill tree, it drastically reduces the frame rate of not just the game but my OBS.
The game is a little it needs to be optimized better.
That's the only spot where I've had a problem is opening the skill tree.
We are a Nintendo podcast, so we should mention that. And I haven't played it on Switch yet, but people are complaining that it's just not optimized well on Switch, and it's really buggy. People are having a lot of frame issues and crashes and stuff. Yeah. But again, it's an indie team. I'm honestly surprised they even got this extension up and running. Such a fantastic idea. And for an indie team to pull it off, I think is really fascinating. And it's been top 5 games streamed on Twitch since it released, which is, and that is 100% because of the Twitch extension. So
because it's getting a lot more people to play it and more people to watch people play it.
It's such a good idea. But I'm really interested to see where that goes moving forward, because I know a lot of games do Twitch extensions, but I mean, if an indie game like this can be this successful and blow up on the platform and make a name for itself based on a half-working, kind of easy Twitch extension, I mean, that could really be the future of gaming. Also, every time, not the future, but a future for like a lot of companies to kind of push towards, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some really crazy things happen in that space. I'm going on many tangents now, but it's like, when they get to design a villager, they get a screen on their computer with a villager creation.
Yeah.
You could do some really wacky things with games, and think about games with a budget. Think about games like Fortnite or something. What they could do.
There's a lot you could do with Twitch integration, but it doesn't have to stop at Twitch. Make a YouTube integration, or just make a website.
Every time Jackson Scoot goes on a tangent about how Twitch is so much better than YouTube, the one thing I never, ever put into the equation when I debate him is extensions like these, because YouTube just doesn't offer this. It's
YouTube will let you play Super Bomberman R online, make private lobbies with your viewers if you're playing through Stadia, baby. How could you forget about that? How could you forget about that integration?
That is both why YouTube streams and Stadia failed in one word. Bomberman R.
It was a good idea, but the wrong game, and it's Stadia.
Oh, so. Yeah, definitely the wrong game.
That's why I'm saying if they make it like a website instead of an extension, like and then log in via Twitch or YouTube, like that's a way to like make it so it's not platform exclusive.
YouTube has a lot of work to go with streaming. Wasn't there a third game? Or did we talk about it already? Kirby, Golf, Lamb.
You wanted to talk about Xenoblade?
Xenoblade.
But I don't know how much we want to get into that. Because
I don't know.
We're about out of time, buddy.
Oh, God.
I also want to talk about some trouble I'm in, but...
Oh, God. All right, well... Let's keep it brief, because honestly, I was going to give podcast listeners a little taste of what I thought of the game. Let's not. I don't know when my review is coming out. I'll just save it for that. The thing I will do is say I had an interesting observation today. I've been wrestling with fans a little bit on Twitter. No one really knows my opinion of the game yet. I've kept it really close to my chest because I knew whatever I said, unless it was in a full breakdown review. He's not here.
That smells terrible.
I put a stamp on that one too. I don't know what I said would be twisted out of context, so I was going to do a whole video about it. But the one thing I did was post a screenshot of me finishing it, and I said 60 hours in the... And like, oh, dude, like the fans came at my throat. Like, oh, you rushed the game.
60 hours you rushed it.
60 hours rushed the game.
I'm going to look up how long to beat.
So I looked up how long to beat. Just the story says 65 to like 80 hours or something. But
you did rush it.
No, I didn't rush it actually. I'm just really good at games. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm cracked at Xenoblade, a single player.
I played through just fine. I beat the boss easy. I was actually a little over leveled. Spawn Wave's playing it right now, and he's 50 hours in, and he said that he feels like my playthrough was about right. He's like, yeah, I don't know what everyone's freaking out about. I'm about on track. I've put in an extra 10 hours into it now to see if I did miss anything, and I'm finishing up some quests, but as of yet, no. But anyway, beside the point, the one thing I want to say is I really feel like Xenoblade fans do a big disservice to Xenoblade. Like, I feel like they need to reel it in a little bit. I noticed today, a lot of people were asking on John's tweet, because John tweeted, playing the game, he likes it a lot, 50 hours in, here's his favorite one, that's what he said. And somebody replied, can I start with this one, or do I have to play the other ones? And the replies from the hardcore fans and a lot of the fans were like, you gotta play the other ones. Oh, you gotta. So many spoilers. I think that's rough. I think you're doing the game a little bit of a disservice because for starters, no. The games are like kind of, the stories are interlinked, but they're in a way where you can pick up any one and play it on its own, and it's that way by choice. It's designed to be that way. The only spoilers I would say is like right at the end, there's a couple of Easter eggs that if you haven't played the other games, they will just fly over your head anyway. Mm-hmm. But my biggest thing is a lot of these fans are saying, this game better sell better than 2. They put so much work and love into it. 3 better sell better than 2. But then they also say, but don't buy it unless you've played 2. So how does that math translate? Like, I really feel like we should be telling people to play 3 despite playing the other 2. Maybe they'll ruin a couple of things for themselves if they're smart enough to pick up on it. But in the grand scheme of things, don't we want this game to be doing as good as possible? And if you want it to sell more than 2, there are going to be players that will have to come on board with this game that literally have not bought 2. That's how math works.
There's almost no games where you need to play the first one because games are such a time commitment that just freaking skip it, dude, and you'll figure it all out later. I used to come into watching TV shows like season 4, and I'm like, I figured it out. I understand what they were going for.
Okay, I disagree with that a little bit.
I watched the only episode of Breaking Bad I have ever seen was the last one because I went to because I went to a party and they were like it was like a series finale of Breaking Bad at a party, and I was like, that was pretty good. I don't need the rest. I'm good.
That is insane. Breaking Bad is one of my favorite TV shows, and that I can't imagine.
I'm good. I saw it.
I can't imagine never having the chance to watch the show. I don't know. I don't know what is considered a spoiler with Xenoblade 3, but yeah, it's interlinked. Yeah, technically the worlds are all existing in the same space.
Cannot tell me with a straight face you cannot play this game without spending 200 hours. I'd rather fucking off myself.
And that is why Xenoblade fans need to stop telling people that and just let them experience one of the games. If they want to go back and play 1 and 2 after that, that's up to them. But I'm telling you, I've played 1 and 2, and I had to Google a little at the end to kind of piece the dots. Because it's a long story. It's very convoluted. I needed a little bit explained to me. I got most of it. I just, the dots of how everything connected. I needed to actually have someone explain it to me. So I don't think anyone is like going to play 3 and then be like, well, now I can't play 1 because I've seen that character at the end.
Right. If you play all of the Metal Gear games and then go play Metal Gear 5, you probably won't know that much more than somebody who's just playing 5 because the story is that convoluted and like messed up that like I played all of them and I was still confused playing 5.
It's definitely a standalone story, But what did you get in trouble for?
One of my memes in my chat, this isn't what I got in trouble for, but one of my memes in my chat that my chat always does, they go, Bob, do I need to play like Metroid Dread in order to play Curse to Golf? And I'll be like, oh no, you need to play like Madden 06 through 08 if you want to, before you start jumping into something like this.
Was that a serious
No,
comment?
It's always a joke. Because people do frequently come in while I'm playing a game like if I do play Xenoblade 3, people would come in, do I need to play 1 and 2 in order to play this? And I'm always like, no, just play the game. So I always like make up some bullshit. Like, no, you gotta play like freaking, you gotta watch Boss Baby 1 and 2 before you ever think about playing Xenoblade 3. Stuff like that. Because it's just a ridiculous question.
That would actually be a good punishment for Xenoblade fans.
Anyway, I got in trouble because I hacked the Vita finally. And I was, listen, man, I've hacked a lot. I've done a lot of the mods for these different consoles like the 3DS and stuff. And I have all these little portable emulators that I use to play all my retro games and stuff. And you have a couple of them too. And some of them are a massive pain in the ass. And I am reviewing these things. So us as reviewers, we need to talk about how much of a pain in the ass it is versus just picking it up and playing the game that you want. And I've heard for years that a PlayStation Vita is super easy to hack and put all your ROMs on it. And it's a great little emulation machine once you do all of that. That's all bullshit. It's hard as fuck to get the hack done. And it's not even good at emulating a lot of this stuff. So I leaned really hard into like all of the people who have been telling me for years that I should just hack a Vita. On all of my portable emulation videos, there's always comments about hacking a 3DS, hacking a Vita, just use an Android phone. And to their credit, using an Android phone, actually pretty good at emulation. 3DS, actually a really easy hack to do and actually pretty good at emulation. Vita, hard as shit. Not even that great at a lot of emulation stuff. And the Vita emulation community that exists did not appreciate me saying that.
I like the way you emphasized that exists.
Yep. They think that everything that I did was a user error and that I did everything wrong. And like, maybe I did a lot of, first of all, every step
but that's why it's hard.
Yes.
Because you make mistakes.
Every step of the way I had an issue, and that's never happened to me before. And also, listen, I've done this enough times where I think I'm in a better spot than other people who would have tried
1,000%.
I have a little more experience than other people who might just pick up a Vita and try it for themselves. So I have a little bit of authority when I say that something is a little harder. I have less authority than a PlayStation Vita hacker. But when I'm rating it against all of the other stuff, I think I know what I'm talking about.
You have literally hacked countless of these dumb consoles that we get, and I just ignore that side of it and just play games on it.
Yeah.
But you put Mobius on a Game Boy cartridge. Like you're able to do that level of tinkering and weirdo stuff. So I would think for you, a Vita would be chump change.
I think we're all different levels of like, you know, emulation YouTubers, like you just do the fun stuff. You just want it to work or whatever. I'm a little bit different where I could put a little work into it, but I don't put that much work into it. Then there's people like Retro Game Core and Retro Dodo and other people who put a lot of work into it, and they find out the best way to get the emulations to work.
Optimus Prime guy as well.
The ETA Prime, yeah.
Yeah, I like that guy.
But Retro Game Core, Retro Dodo, and a couple of these other YouTubers said on Twitter, I agree with everything Bob says in this video. The Vita is a pain in the ass to hack.
I like him.
But then why don't you say that in your video then? If it's a pain in the ass to hack, then say that. I think they're afraid of the fucking Vita community that I didn't know existed until I put this video out. Oh, they're afraid of them coming after them or some shit.
I dipped my toes in the Vita.
To be fair, though, they did back me up, though, so they did actually take some heat from the Vita community. So I appreciate that.
I used to
other YouTubers need to step up and be like, "Nah, this is a pain in the ass."
I'll be right there with you because guess what? I'm not a dumb bum and I got a brain. And the Vita is like 15 years old and it's a PlayStation console. So yeah, of course it's going to be a little harder to hack and not run games as well as like the A&E Air that just came out. That's like designed for that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Of course.
The Aya Neo is great. I will say the Vita is fantastic at emulating original PlayStation games.
I've heard
PSP kinda, but it's a little pain in the ass to get PSP to work.
I've heard the Switch is easy to hack, and I'm sure it is.
No, it's not. It's absolutely fucking not. It's, maybe worse than the Vita.
They lied too. Yeah, well, okay.
Everybody thinks it's easy when they do it, you know? I think people, you know how people say that women forget how terrible childbirth is? Like it's like it's you're going there's like some sort of like hormone that makes them forget how painful childbirth is so that they'll want to have another child. People forget how terrible it is to hack something because they just want to be able to say, I did this and and look at my work. Look at my work. It wasn't that bad. Like I'm proud of what I did.
So what Bob is saying is the Vita community are all a bunch of women.
Hey now. Yes.
That's the point.
Yes, you are. Yes.
No. That's the point.
There's a hormone in Vita hackers that makes them forget how painful it was to hack a Vita.
Unlike Bob, I believe that women can hack too.
I hate this. I hate this world that we're in.
We sound the war horns as we go to battle with the Vita hacking community. They are now an enemy of the Nontendo podcast.
So are the Xenoblade. You gotta also talk about the Xenoblade community too. We're going to war with them too.
The section of the Xenoblade community that believe you must play the other Xenoblade games before the third one.
It's all of them or none of them. It's all or none of them. If I'm going against the whole Vita hacking community, you gotta go against the whole Xenoblade community.
I already have 1,000 times. Bring it on.
We're wearing the same shoes.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. All right, that's the show. Love you guys. Other than the Vita and the Xenoblade guys.
Fuck you guys. Get out of here. Give us your money for Patreon and get out.
When Bob and I sat down today, we were like, oh, we got the Liam call. We only got to talk for 45 minutes this time. That's a good episode right there.
This is a beefy one.
Now, you know what? Everyone's been complaining about, not everyone, but people are complaining about Scoot. Now, people are going to complain about E because they're like, oh, look, when E's not there and he's not telling them to shut up and end the episode, we get an hour and a half.
We need that. We need to be told to shut up.
I think that's actually true, though. I think every time we've tried to do it ourselves, it's been a longer episode.
Yeah, and we get burnt out talking for too long.
I'm exhausted. We gotta film more. Yeah, shut up.
We need to pace ourselves better. Goodbye.
No. Right now, we got to do a bonus episode, so if you want to watch it, it's on Patreon, and I'm going to figure out an audio version so you can listen to the audio too, if that's what you've been waiting for before joining Patreon. Like, rate, subscribe, all the regular stuff, and yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you either in 5 minutes on Patreon or next week.
Bye.